Okay, here are some tips on using Audacity for your first assignment, your first analysis assignment. Please, first you start Audacity, and then you got to make two settings. Make sure you have two settings correct. Make sure it's mono. You're just recording your own voice. That's one person. There's no need for stereo. It just makes everything twice as big. So we'll set that on mono. And then your project rate should be set to 16,000. If it's any bigger, it's just really useless for a single voice, so don't worry about that. So make sure it's at 16,000 and you're ready to go. Okay, then you just push record. You're going to start recording when you're ready to read your do your imitation. I'll do a sample here. I'll imitate myself for simplicity's sake, and so here we go. Push record. Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store: 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station. Okay, so you just got to use these two controls, record and play. And stop, and then there's play too for when you need it. You can go back to the beginning, click again on the screen, and you can just play it. I just hit the space bar, which works for lots of software for playing things or starting a video or stopping a video, stop and start. So push the space bar and you can hear it. Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. Okay, that sounds really good. So that's, in terms of the recording quality, that's fantastic. So you can be really happy with that. A few tips to get that. Try to get in the quietest space as possible. If you live with other people, tell them you're recording and you want to just have it quiet for a little bit. Make sure the TV's off, of course the radio, anything else going on around you. I mean, really anything. The less noise, the better. I mean, if you just do the best you can. If you're in some situation where it's impossible for you to get totally quiet, well, then we'll just have to deal with that. But really, for showing off your skill, the cleanest recording is best. Makes it easier for me to listen to, comment on, and so on. And one thing you can do before you export it is to delete. So just mark it, just like you mark a text, you mark the section before your voice starts and just push the delete button. And so you deleted that part. Only at the beginning and the end. You don't have to delete stuff in the middle. And I'll delete the ending too. Okay, then I'm ready to export this. So I'm going to go and hit File, Export. And then I'm going to name my file. So give it your name, your full name. So you don't have to worry about caps, but you can if you want to. Dot, and then your language. Now each document, each recording that's on the GMU web pages has a number. This one is JOLA 1. Let's just say the one I looked at was JOLA 1. That's the one. You'll rate the one you're imitating. It could be any number of things. You'll just see this 4 characters plus a 1 for different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on how many different speakers there are for that. Then 611 is the name of the course, A1, Analysis 1 assignment, and then .wave. So that's going to be your wave assignment, your wave file that you're exporting. Now, make sure the format is set. You see all these different formats. Put it on wave. That's like the easiest for me to deal with and the easiest for most of you to record. So that if you're using Audacity, that should be just fine, and so that's selected. And then you don't have to worry about options, just leave them set at the defaults because it comes out just fine. And then hit save. Now, I mean, you could add things here. Let's see, artist name. Yeah, I would put your name. I mean, you don't have to do this, but if you want to have it in your MP3s and have it marked properly, somewhere down the line it might be useful to be able to check this. Track title, I would call it the language that you're working on, and album title, I would call it Stella, because that's kind of the general category of things we're working on. And you could put the year. I mean, any of these things you could put on. And any comments you want to do. But again, you could just leave this blank. I'm just saying that if you'd like to add this information, you can. It's not going to hurt anything to have it. And then you click OK. And that should just export then. Okay, so I'm going to go look at where I exported it. And it'll be in my, let's see, desktop 611 audio. There it is, Brian Tiemann, Jola 1, 611. Now notice, oops, it's not showing in here. Okay, notice the size is 725 kilobytes, which is really small. Smaller than megabyte is great. There's no reason to be much bigger, but I mean, let's just say you go up to 5 megabytes. I wouldn't worry about it up till then. I mean, basically, if it's too big, we'll deal with that. Sometimes you can't mail it to me if that's needed, or it won't upload properly. So it's best to keep it small, as small as possible. That's why I gave you the settings that I did. I mean, it can actually be much smaller than this if it's like MP3 or something, but that's a little more complicated to do, and it's really not necessary. So for our purposes, this system will work just fine, get you to about a megabyte, and we're ready to go. And some pointers about recording for this. I'm using my laptop actually on my desk with a built-in microphone, and it works beautifully. As you can hear, I mean, it's quite a good recording, nothing fancy, and it works quite well. If you have, especially if you're in a noisy environment and you do have like a headset with a microphone built in, one of those microphones that come up in front of your mouth or near the front of your mouth, that would be fine to use, would be helpful. In most cases it's helpful. Just be careful it's not set right in front of your mouth where your P's pop. So you'll get a puff of air, and if I'm listening with headphones or even with speakers, it can be quite a jolt to listen to that. Even for you too on the playback, I mean, you just don't want to pop in your ears like that. So that's the only thing you have to be careful for. It doesn't have to be right in front of your mouth. A lot of them are actually aimed so they're like to the outside corner of your mouth. And even farther off to the side. It just depends on how they're set up on the microphone. So I wouldn't worry too much. As you can see, I'm 20 centimeters or 12 inches away from the microphone here, and it's just fine. So if you're a few inches away with one of those microphones, it should be perfect. And that's all for today. So good luck with your Analysis 1 assignment.